I don't like my shoulder blades. I think they stick out a bit too much, but nobody said anything, so I think I'm good at the minute. You know, nobody's really pointed it out yet, so fingers crossed. It's about it, really. I mean, I don't particularly care much. I mean, I try and take pride in my appearance and things, but like the way I am physically, it could be worse. Could have two heads. Depends on who employs you, doesn't it? I mean, you shouldn't do in an ideal world, but it's a very looks-based organisation, isn't it?
I guess it depends what kind of person you are. I mean, if the way you look affects you personally to a point that it knocks your confidence, then yes, because you're not going to go for what you want. But if it doesn't, if you happy in the way that you look, then no, I don't think it does. I hate it. I think it's awful, and it's just like the lowest form of like criticising someone.
To be honest, I haven't really thought about it. I mean, obviously it's not nice, but I think if somebody, like, for example, with like tackling like obesity, like if it's causing health problems, obviously you shouldn't shame them, but you could at least say, look, this is causing problems, you need to go see someone. But if it isn't causing health problems, I don't really see the problem.
I became conscious about this was my first day of sixth form. I went up to someone to shake their hand, and the first thing they say to me is, God, you've got really tiny hands. That made me feel quite small as a person, because I'm always the person that stands out in the crowd for being the tallest, the fattest, the loudest, the most annoying, but no one's ever noticed my hands before, and ever since they said that, it's always just bothered me about how small they are, because when I compare them now to other people's, I've got the same sized hands as someone who is 4 foot, and for a person who's 6 foot, this is not normal. Now, the size of hands for guys is very important, because they feel that the bigger hand you've got, the better handshake you can do, the better you are at sports and everything. And I use it more for cooking. So when I try to measure out so many hands of pasta, so many hands of rice, it doesn't work because I've got such tiny hands. I'm having to do double the hands just to try and fit the measurement, sort of. So that's why I hate my hands. Bad hands.
God, yeah. I mean, think like thousands of years ago when we were cavemen, like fat women were actually considered like the most attractive. You know, like now like, obviously like the paradigm has shifted, but and obviously it's like you could have like lanky caveman, big cave woman, and they'd still make little caveman babies or cave women babies.
Because if they're really in love, if they're the person's really in love with them, then they just love everything about them. Does it have to be about how we look?
Could be about anything.
No. My ideal partner would be someone who's intelligent and funny and kind to me and everyone else and himself.
Does it matter about size?
I want to say no, but the only thing that really arguably matters is someone who's slightly taller than me, but that's probably it.
Ideal girl. Well, she's got to have an interest in reading. Oh, you mean physically?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay. Well, still the interest in reading applies, but I don't know. I mean, I have a preference for brunettes, I'm not gonna lie, but she doesn't have to be, you know what I mean? Like, it's not really ideal. You're saying ideal, so, you know, I'm going with brunette.
Does it matter about the size?
Well, obviously I have my preferences, but it's not. It wouldn't be. But obviously, because it's silly to say that looks don't matter, because obviously they do. But the thing is, there are 7 billion people on the planet. Everyone is going to have their own preferences, and I don't know. I would say somewhere in the middle. Not ridiculously they turn to the side and you can't see them. No, nothing like that.
Yeah.
But I'd just say like a healthy weight. It's never really crossed my mind. The thing is, if I like a girl, then I just like her, and it's not really. I can't help hormones really.
But suffering from bulimia for just over 2 years, my whole recovery was really resolved around thinking rationally. So much of my energy was focused on powering the same toxic thoughts about my body and the way I looked. It made me ill. So I think as a result of what happened to me, the thought process that I have around the body image of not just me but other people is a lot different to others. And I try to distance myself from idealising a certain body type, and if I find myself slipping into old habits, I try and promptly stop myself. But after all the ramifications of what happened to me, such as missing out on school and losing friends, it really put into perspective what really matters in life, and it's not the way that you look.